Hi. You mentioned that once one achieves the state of no mind or transcends the mind, it can possibly become one of the greatest gifts. And I wanted to seek some clarity on that second part because the nature of the mind doesn't change in terms of it chasing endless thoughts. So how does it sort of become the greatest gift available to?
Yeah, I'm not. If I said that, then you've taken it out of context. I have no idea what I said. But it sounds to me that you interpreted it as it's this really great state, and it would really be a benefit to you to get into it. So go chase it, and that nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, I would say that if someone was to ask, "Should I get into the state of no mind?" I would say absolutely not. Because if someone needs convincing, if someone has a choice but to go there, and if someone is trying to go there because they're looking for a state or an experience, which everyone is, then it's unreal. It's not truth. Not only will it not last, but it'll only lead to an endless chase for more and more pleasure chasing. Experience chasing is a waste of time, and that's why everyone is doing all these fancy drugs these days. Everyone's a drug addict, and addicted to various different things, be it alcohol or whatever. Everyone is addicted to pleasure, and modern society and the intellectuals have turned it into this scientific thing that it's good for you to do these things, and it gets you into the state to see clearly, and ego death and all this complete just garbage. There are very few authentic human beings left in this world. Everyone else is a follower. Everyone a paper puppet. Everyone is simply like filler. They're not real human beings who are genuinely devoted to something. Everyone's simply chasing. They're chasing their next orange-colored pill.
Are universal truths a societal construct?
Absolutely not. Truth and society are an oxymoron.
Hi. Thank you for allowing me to ask you a question. This is the first time I'm doing this. I've never asked a question before.
Sure.
So one of the things I struggle with a lot is the concept of money. So money is material, but obviously you need money to survive, and you devote a lot of time and energy to make money. What do you think of money and the construct of money?
Money is an absolute necessity to live in the world, and to have an emotion about it. That the spiritualists say that money is bad, and that it is, and that it should be shied away from, and that one should not covet it, and one shouldn't do this and that. The bottom line is to celebrate money is a lie, and to denigrate money is a lie. Money is simply an absolute necessity, and if one is attached to money, and if one views money as part of their self-image, that isn't immoral. There is no such thing as immorality or morality. That is yet again another societal construct. The only trouble with being attached to money is that it will lead to suffering. That's the only reason. Not that you have broken some stupid, idiotic spiritual rule. Every guru needs to be smacked in the face, because they all lie. They all teach people to create rules. They are no different than hall monitors. They have no reality attached to them. Everything must be looked at as a utilitarian thing, and money is absolutely utilitarian. And if one is not looking to live in a cave or in a jungle, and they are looking to live in society, in the world, and the fact is that they need money. To celebrate it is a lie. To covet it is a lie. To deny it is a lie. To denigrate it is a lie. It is what it is.
Thank you.
Starting from tomorrow, I'm quitting my job and just going to be on my own for a bit. I wonder if you have any advice on how to spend time when you have to run your own, you have to be the ruler of your own universe.
Well, there's no how to run your life. I mean, you don't have a life. Your entire life is nothing but just a bunch of empty chores, beliefs, ideas, thoughts, opinions, likes, and dislikes. That's all you are. And if you spend some time, if you choose to, because it speaks to you, not that it's a good thing, and you won't be any better for having done so. Let's get that clear from the very beginning. It isn't self-development. If you happen to be moved by looking into the falsities of that which you call your life, there is plenty of fodder there, and there is plenty of time, and there is plenty there to keep you occupied for years.
Hi. What is your definition of friendship?
Friendship is a myth.
Tell me about sacrifice.
The word "tell me" strikes me in an awkward fashion.
What utility does sacrifice have in our life?
None. It's a prescription.
I want to ask a question. So if there is heaven also evolving as Earth?
So you begin with if there is heaven. So you've already established that there is. So therefore it isn't a question.
Well, yeah, I suppose there is a higher dimension place.
I have no idea if there's heaven or not. So since I don't know, then any question that rests upon that question is a non-starter.
Oh, hi there. Is there anything called universal truth?
So there are universal truths, but you're going to ask me what they are, and I don't really go into them right now. But yes, there are universal truths that apply to every human being.
Hey, how can I confirm that I've experienced the truth and it's not my mind that is tricking me? Thanks.
I think a more important question is, why are you so desperate to confirm it?
You said that there are some universal truths which apply to all human beings. Could you share some examples?
There is no good or bad.
Good evening. What is the beginning of learning, or the beginning steps in learning to let go of attachment?
You can't let go of anything. It's all about discovering what a thing really is and how it has bound you. And then it is about if that binding is genuinely okay with you or not. Not intellectually, but genuinely. That's where to begin.
What is your responsibility to society?
0.
Can science or the scientific method lead us to truth?
Absolutely not.
I was wondering, is any religion closer to the truth than another?
I think religions serve only themselves.
What's the point or role of education in seeking the truth?
What's the point of what?
Education.
Education has nothing to do with truth.
I've read some of your books, really enjoy what you have to say. Just curious from a high performer standpoint, what's most important for high performance? Is it sincerity? Is it instinct? Is it talent? When you're coaching for high performance, where do you find what do you find is most important?
What the human being truly wants to be.
I've been listening since a couple of days and also today for a long time. I'm thinking if the truth is something that we can think of as, finding truth could be thought of as having deep awareness about various motivations in the world and not letting it impact you positively or negatively, but just knowing and understanding that and having the awareness around it and, it not having any impact on you necessarily.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable way to look at it. So long as what you are not saying is that you are trying to undo or fight off or pretend that you don't have any reactions to it, or that you're trying to suppress the reactions to it. So long as you don't mean that, then truth absolutely is along the lines of what you're saying, because what you're saying is essentially to see things the way they are, without having any opinion about it or without being attached to it in any way.
Exactly.
Yes,
So that is my understanding. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Hi, Doctor. Thanks for having me. My question is truth absolute or is it relative? For example, for someone who's just to give an analogy, if I'm traveling on a road and I ask someone for direction, he's going to say go and take a left if I have to reach somewhere, and if I'm coming from the other direction, it's going to be like go straight and take a right, depending on where I'm coming from.
And it is for that reason that every human being, the truth of where to begin is precisely where one is, and human beings are not taught to do that. Human beings are taught to go somewhere. Human beings are taught to do. But the truth actually states that a human being must first recognize where they truly are.
Hello, Dr. Gupta. Thank you for listening to my question. My question is, in your opinion, what is the best way to deal with loss? And by loss, I mean loss of a very important person in our lives.
You cannot deal with it. It's the emotions that you have, that you have. Any attempt to try to improve your emotions or any attempt to try to lessen your suffering will only perpetuate your suffering. And by the way, I'm sorry for that individual's loss.
I just heard you say that, people need to know truly where they are, but in the universe, there is so much complexity. It's very hard for a human to know where he is. And for the naivety that he has, maybe for evolved person, it's easy. Why do you think it's hard for people to do?
It's not difficult to know where one is. If it's difficult for someone to know where one is, it's only because they feel that they should be somewhere else. One knows one's level of sincerity. One knows if they're genuinely serious or not. That isn't difficult.
No, but level of sincerity is also relative, because I might think I'm very sincere, but relatively when I meet more sincere people...
It's not true. It's not true. The only way that you would know is if you're not willing to look.
So I realized after we talked last that I guess I had a few more questions about the idea that you oscillate between, when you were talking about like how the truth is the sun that shines through the clouds, and you oscillate between like the state of, or at least I oscillate, I can't talk for anyone else, I oscillate between the state of like being able to see what is and being so blinded or shaded by what I want things to be or what I think things should be. Do you oscillate too?
Honestly, I think it is absolutely irrelevant what I do. Because let's say I oscillated day and night. It has no meaning. Let's say I never oscillated. It has no meaning. The only thing that matters in a person's life is themselves.
But couldn't I learn from how maybe you moved from oscillating more to oscillating
No, because there is no way that I can give you a methodology. The things that I have... I don't want to talk about myself, but let's say there's human beings in the past have realized things. There are human beings throughout history who have had great realizations. Let's talk about them. And how they achieved those realizations was not by way of a method. And if you were to put a gun to their head, they might be disingenuous. Perhaps out of a genuine desire to help you, they might cave and give you a how. Because they don't want to say, I don't know. The truth is they don't know. The only way that things happen in this life are through direct sincerity. And how someone actually does it. When someone is drowning in a lake and they have no idea how to swim, they flail their arms. And there's no pattern to their flailing. And there's no prescription to their flailing. But somehow they keep their head above water. And the only reason they keep their head above water, the only reason they managed to do so, was not because their technique in flailing was taught well to them. The only reason they do is because their desperation to stay alive was second to none. Therefore, they found a how. It is for that reason that there's no methodology at all.
I see that. The people who you mentioned that have had these like unbelievable like realizations, and it comes to them or it comes from inside of them for whatever reason, how a lot of them like make a concerted effort to either like, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, so forgive me if it's the wrong way, but like to either start a religion or to pass on their knowledge or whatever. Does that mean that there's...
Then it becomes false.
Okay, that's
then it becomes false. Yeah, any desire to help someone is false because the desire to help will sabotage the effort.
Because it's in essence insincere.
Because it attempts
your
to
ego.
Well, because it attempts to reduce something that was howless into a how.
So is it useless to have to look to others to guide you? Is that completely useless?
100%. If one is looking to others to guide them by way of methodology or technique, it is 100% useless. And if the person goes along and gives them prescription, which everyone will, then they are useless.
My question is, what is the cause of insincerity?
That's a good question. I don't know what the cause of insincerity is, nor do I know what the cause of sincerity is. There's someone either simply has it, or somehow it comes to him later in life, or it doesn't.
Hi there. How do you differentiate between the truth and a chase?
Everything in your life is a chase. In your specific life, everything's a chase.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Doc, for getting me up here. I have a question. So a lot of us would be able to relate when we say that we are living in future and not in the present, meaning that we are constantly worried about future and trying to chase, as you just mentioned. So
if you're going to ask me how to live in the present, you're wasting your time.
Okay.
Hi. I keep getting caught up in a cycle of attaching and then having expectations broken and then just staying in a state of being detached from everything. But that makes me unhappy. And so then I go back into attaching to things that inevitably just lead me back to being detached. And so I'm just wondering how to break this cycle, or I'm wondering why I would be unhappy just being equally detached from everything.
Well, the reason that happened is because you are chasing happiness on the one end and relief from disappointment on the other end. And so long as you are trying to mitigate one thing and chase another, you'll always be on that cycle.
Okay.
Lou, I want to ask you, during dhyan, during certain points of meditation, there's a certain loss that occurs of one's memory and biases and awareness, and eventually the awareness of self. And there's a certain fear that comes with that, like almost a death, I would say. It's almost like a fight or flight response, and that's quite hard to overcome. And I've been trying to do that for many years, and I'm not quite sure how to build that courage.
It has nothing to do with courage. You will never do it.
There's no I that does it, right? Is that what you mean?
No, you're.
What do you mean?
You are way too caught up and imprisoned by spiritual concepts to know the truth. You're interested more in spirituality and meditation and ego death and all of this nonsense than you are in the truth.
Yeah, I mean, there's no belief that's necessary. I understand. There's no need for any of that.
Well, intellectually you believe so, but your heart longs for spiritual modalities.
What is the difference between seriousness and sincerity? Or are they the same thing?
No, they can be viewed as the same thing. There isn't a definitional thing. It's genuineness.
This is a follow-up question on some of the stuff that's been spoken already today. So what I gather is that one way to be motivated, or people feel motivated to search for the truth, is when they have lived in the illusion or suffered for long enough and there is some breakthrough or clarity that they don't want to be stuck in the pleasure cycle anymore. And as you mentioned, if somebody is drowning, they're not taught how to flail their arms, but they figure out how to do it. And maybe this might sound like asking for a prescription, but I am still trying to wrap my head around it. What if somebody helps you, or you again get stuck in that pleasure cycle and you keep jumping back into that cycle? Is there any single way as to hold on and remind yourself to not go there? Is there something you can do?
No, there isn't. There is literally nothing you can do. And I think it was designed that way on purpose. Because truth is not for the doer. there's I believe it might be in the words of Jesus. I'm not sure, but there's something along the lines of even when someone does not see a path between two cliffs and there's no bridge, and the person just steps, even if it kills them, that was designed that way. There are some things that can only be had through direct, deep-seated longing, and methodology will forever be for the pretenders.
And the longing happens. There's no reason why the longing happens. I mean, it just
That's
happens.
exactly right. That's exactly right. But the first thing that you mentioned, that someone could become tired of it, and that's often the way it happens. So your insight in understanding that was exactly correct.
So, should you, when you're suffering, maybe ask yourself to stay there and not search for the next pleasure? Because there's that moment when, I have experienced that moment where you feel, oh my God, this is enough. Like, you can't do this again and again. But somehow you still reach out for the next pleasure, or you still forget all of that.
The truth is that you can do it again and again. That's the truth, and you will. And there's absolutely nothing that you can do. And there probably isn't a human being who's listening right now to this session who has reached the point in their life in which they have truly seen that prescriptions absolutely 100% are the road to doom. No one has seen that. They may listen to it. They may write it down. They may try to imbibe it. They may try to recite it. But they haven't gotten there yet, because that is age-old conditioning.
How do you balance the duality of seeking?
There's no balance to anything. And words like duality mark one as a spiritualist. Spirituality is a complete barrier to truth. Balance is a barrier to truth. The human beings who truly get somewhere in this world, who truly achieve otherworldly things, be it in the materialistic realm or in the world of no mind or realization or enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, or freedom, are not the balanced. They're always the insane. They're always the imbalanced. Only the mediocre seek balance.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. I generally tend to not struggle with the good and the bad of the things, but I struggle finding a purpose. And
struggle for that is natural, because purpose doesn't exist.
Okay.
And there's no reason for you to imbibe that.
Hello, doctor.
Hello.
Is there an answer to what the meaning of life is?
No.
What's manifestation?
It's a spiritual concept.
Hi again. Thanks for the opportunity again. I wanted to ask, so a couple of things have been said about pleasure and, regret. I was wondering, isn't it kind of important?
Well, when you begin with "isn't it important," that doesn't go anywhere. I'm not going to listen to anything that happens after those words, because that is an opinion that you've already formed. So it isn't a question.
Yeah, the question is basic. The question is it important for someone to have the feeling of pleasure and regret in order to progress in the work they do? Like, for example, if someone fails, in producing good music, then in order to drive motivation to produce better music, or for anything.
If a human being is driven by pleasure, then they'll be on a chase forever. And the very pleasure that drives them will bring them an endless amount of suffering, well beyond the amount of pleasure. And it isn't right, and it isn't wrong.
This is a follow-up to a question I have asked before. I just wanted to take time to think about what you said. If this is a toggle, if attachment and detachment are a toggle between mitigating for relief or mitigating my expectations and seeking relief, then would the answer lie in not trying to mitigate the disappointment, or would it lie on letting go of wanting to feel relief?
Well, you can't not try, and you can't let go. It isn't in your hands. And therefore, you're going to ask, well, then what do I do? And that's exactly my point. You will always return to what do I do. And so long as you return to what do I do, you will have returned more fundamentally to the place that I am not sincere, I am not serious, I am not genuine. And that isn't a bad thing. That isn't a judgment. That is simply where you are. And in fact, it is the realization that that's where you are. That is the truth. That is the truth for you at that moment.
Yeah.
But the understanding must hit for a human being, and there might be 1 in 100 million who it actually hits for, that prescriptions are the road to devastation.
I'll think about it. Thank you.
Well, if you think about it, you certainly won't get there. Thought is precisely the road of illusion.
Is the law of cause and effect is applicable for everyone?
Yes.
If so, how anyone can achieve Siddha?
So it says here, are you a Rinpoche?
Wow, why do you ask?
Well, that's what your profile says. Is that what you are? Are you a monk?
Yes.
You are? Okay. So let me ask you this.
Yes.
What are you seeking as a monk?
Why do you think I'm seeking as a monk?
Okay, then why are you a monk?
Is there has to be always a reason?
It doesn't have to be, but for you, is there?
I think, if, cause and effect is applicable for everyone, so everyone is changed by the cause and effect, so where's the Siddha?
Why do you care about why do you care about Siddhahood? What relevance does that have?
No, Siddha meaning accomplishment, right?
No, Siddha has nothing to do with accomplishment. I mean, do you know what a Siddha is?
In the Sanskrit word, Siddha means great accomplishment.
No, a Siddha is a Siddha is an avatar, an enlightened being.
No, Siddha, in a word, literally, Siddha means achievement of great accomplishment.
Yeah, I don't know of any other meanings, and perhaps you're right. Perhaps there is a meaning that says it means accomplishment, but there certainly is the meaning which is avatar or enlightened being. But I guess my point is, it doesn't even matter. But I became interested by your profile in that you're a Rinpoche, and you're absolutely correct, and that all things have a cause and effect, and that there is no effect without a preceding cause. But you sort of shied away from the question. I'm curious, what is it, if anything, that you're trying to attain through Buddhahood, or through your path of Buddhism?
Well, according to Buddhism,
I know according to Buddhism, but what I'm talking according to you, is there anything that you're particularly looking to achieve?
Well, that's what I'm asking you the question. So what I'm trying to achieve is the cause and effect is applicable for everyone? If so,
it is. Yes.
How even after you achieve Siddha, and even after you realize the truth, there will be a cause and effect for you?
Well, it doesn't matter anymore. Because a person who realizes if a person who realizes the truth is free of himself.
So there's no cause and effect. So you said there's cause and effect applicable for everyone.
Yes, but you are now turning cause and effect into a concept. It is much more. You're turning it into a cause and effect. Absolutely is applicable to everyone, but when one speaks of a human that overcomes himself, then that human enters it into a different domain. Now, whether cause and effect applies to him, I don't know. That's very conceptual at that point. It doesn't really matter, because the last thing that he'd be worried about, a person who becomes truly free of themselves, is cause and effect. So it doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant. It's an intellectual and academic question.
Okay. So I don't mean to be argumentative here. I just would like to clarify. Cause and effect means if you plant an apple seed, then you will have an apple and growing from there. If you put your hand in a fire, fire will burn your hand. So these are the cause and effect.
Yes.
So if you pursue to attain enlightenment or Buddhahood, you want to call it, so then you reach the Buddhahood according to your belief, right? So
No, that's not true. The person who seeks Buddhahood is wasting his time. Because even Buddha didn't seek Buddhahood.
Okay. Why did Buddha then leave
Buddha?
his palace?
You say the problem with Buddhism. And by the way, I have great respect for the Buddhist people. They're very peaceful people. But if we speak from the realm of truth, Buddhism has nothing at all to do with Siddhartha. It has to do with the image of the enlightened being, and it's totally irrelevant. Siddhartha did not have any interest in becoming a Buddha. Siddhartha's only interest was to put an end to samsara. His only interest was never again to return as a human being to this world of suffering. It wasn't to attain Buddhahood. So the ism, when you take Buddha and you attach an ism to it, it becomes false. And all of the chanting and the mantras and the incense and all that stuff, they're all rituals. They may have a significance and they may have a symbolic viewpoint, but they are just dancing around the Buddha. They are not Buddha themselves. Now, in your path, in your way of being, I am certain that there are those rare individuals who don't follow your rules, who don't dance to your tunes, who don't pray your prayers, who don't say your mantras, and who one day get up from the temple and say, to the hell with all of this, I'm going to go find freedom. And they do. And those are the real Buddhas.
Well, you seem to know a lot. However,
I don't know much. I don't know much. All I can say is I think I do know sincerity. Thanks a lot.
I spoke to you once before, and I would say you helped me a lot, but everything that you're saying tonight is really resonating with me. If truth is the only thing, right? And is there a path to find truth?
No.
There's no path?
No.
So I guess there's no guide stones for you to put me on.
No. The person who is genuinely sincere, the path will open up for them. And sometimes that path is involved with intersecting with a particular human being, and sometimes that happens. But those things only happen after the genuineness and the sincerity dawns within the human being.
Hello, Doctor.
Hello.
How does one surrender to performance?
There's no how to do anything.
Fair enough.
I'm just wondering, what do you mean by being sincere? Sincere to what? Sincere to who? Like, I'm just thinking.
Genuine in one's pursuit.
Hi, Doctor. Intelligence or wisdom? What's more important for a better world, and why?
Importance is irrelevant. The world is irrelevant. Betterment is a farce.
Do you believe in afterlife, or is that question even relevant?
No, I don't think it's relevant. I think the most acute problem in a human being's existence is his current life.
Is the what? I'm sorry?
Is their current life.
Oh, okay.
What keeps you going? And what motivates you to take these questions and answers?
That's a good question. I have no idea. It's an excellent question. It genuinely is.
My question is, I keep going back to the same patterns, especially in my work life, and I'm not able to break free from that patterns. What am I not seeing here?
You're looking for a way to break free. That's what you're not seeing.
Hey there. I have a question for you. Do you have expectation, or what are your thoughts on expectations?
Well, expectations can lead only to disappointment. But I don't think that a human being really is in the position to choose whether to have them or not.
What kind of the emotions do you have when people
keep asking you the how-to question, because when you see people conditioned by the society, do you have emotions for them? What's your feeling?
I don't respect the masses. As for when people ask for how-to, I mean, it's to be expected because that's all people know. And it isn't their fault. It's just they've been conditioned. They've been conditioned to do so. It's all a human being knows is to ask how. There's the thought that something besides a how could exist never has really dawned on virtually any human being. That's the first place they begin, and it's the last place they begin.
So you don't feel empathy or disappointed. You just feel very neutral.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. I mean,
Thank you.
Can someone successfully negotiate an outcome with someone who is, let's say, a narcissist, where the outcome is counter to that individual's narcissism?
Yeah, narcissism, these words have no meaning. But to attempt to change someone else, or to try to compromise or to negotiate with someone else, I think is a waste of time. The only endeavors that have any relevance or any effectiveness are the endeavors that occur within oneself, as opposed to between one and another.
My question for you is, when we get triggered by something repeatedly with somebody we love, what can we do to stop that cycle between the two of you?
You're not going to stop the cycle between you and anybody. The only thing that has any relevance is for you to understand what's happening within yourself. The attempt to change a relationship, the attempt to better an interpersonal relation is a complete and utter waste of time. That is not where the effectiveness lies. It lies squarely within yourself.
Hi, I just wanted to ask, what's one piece of advice you would give a CEO who's just starting out, who's just starting their startup?
I don't know. General advice goes nowhere. It has no meaning. Everything is deep and situational and according to what one is ready for. To sprinkle advice on someone without knowing context, without knowing the individual, without knowing where he is, where he wants to go, what he's truly seeking, what his level of interiority is, it's just a waste of time.
Hello, Namaste, Dr. Gupta. My question is, do all truths or most truths appear as paradoxes unless you're genuinely pursuing them?
Generally, yes. Even if you are genuinely pursuing them, they will always seem paradoxical or ironic, or because they will be so wildly antithetical and so extremely otherworldly as compared to what one has always believed to be the case.
Isn't everything just wasting time? Or
I think I would say in your life it is.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just wanted to ask a question. So, like, if you say that the current experience is kind of pointless, a lot of people traditionally would think that the point of living is to suffer, and then you find meaning through that. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't have any opinions. If you feel that you can find meaning through suffering, then so be it. It's whatever you think is the case. It isn't that you think X and then I come along and say Y, and then you abandon your X and adopt my Y. It's all according to where you currently live, inside yourself.
Hi, Dr. Gupta. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. You kind of mentioned around when you kind of look for these truths. One of the other speakers asked about certain truths being paradoxical in nature, and you mentioned almost exclusively, and feel free to let me know if I'm putting words in your mouth, but you mentioned almost exclusively they are paradoxical. You also kind of spoke a few questions prior to that around psychedelics and just kind of how they might be able to help you find these truths. And I think your view on that is that they are actually kind of more of tricks, for lack of a better term.
I believe I said psychedelics are for drug addicts.
Got it. Makes sense. And so I guess, like, when you speak of these paradoxical truths, and some people claim that psychedelics do help them find these truths, I guess I'm wondering, is there no value to psychedelics? Are they just, and if the answer is yes, there is no value to psychedelics, I guess I'm wondering, what is the purpose of psychedelics, or what exactly is going on in the background?
I think the mind of a human being that takes drugs in any form, no matter if they claim to have a spiritual element to them or not, I think that is the smallest human being. I think that human being is beyond reproach. That human being has sunk so low that he is so far from truth that he couldn't possibly achieve truth in this lifetime. A person who has those types of sensibilities. That's how lowly I think of doing such things.
Got it. So you almost have to kind of find it within yourself or not find it at all. Is that right?
I don't think that if a person has the sensibilities to take drugs, that they will ever find it within themselves, because their constitution is degraded.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Is third eye experience a made-up concept by humans to increase following or status?
It is, if one views it through a spiritual realm. Absolutely.
Thank you.
There were some really insightful questions tonight. And those who asked insightful questions, if I can remember who they are, I will give them a chance to ask another.
Hi. I've been listening to your responses to what people are asking. And if there is no how, there is no path, there is not a benchmark to
well,
what...
I don't... Wait, but hang on.
Hi.
The manner in which you are saying that implies very strongly that you are believing me, that you are thinking that what I am saying is correct, and even though you don't think it's correct, and you somehow need to imbibe it.
Not so much, but I'm not sure how to alter my tone to make it. I'm like, it's like up in an abstract form, and I'm considering it and asking questions about it, sort of. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it really is not about believing anything that I say.
Yes.
I think that one has to look at it through one's own lens. One has to filter all things through themselves. And one has to examine in their own life the things in which they have pursued as a how have they gotten to where they wanted to go. And and I'm not saying that so that you can examine it and see that it hasn't, and therefore you can drop the how. I'm not interested in what anyone comes to a conclusion about. Like, I don't care. I know that's the way it is, but I also know that I have no interest for anyone to believe me or to teach that to anyone or to convince anyone. It is imperative that you look at these things on your own and to examine them for yourselves, and never in your life take anything on faith from anybody, myself or anybody else, and to burn all your books, and for you to be your own teacher.
Correct. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So I guess what I'm trying to understand is when I hear something new, I obviously I don't believe it right off the bat. I take it and then I put it through how I understand myself to learn to something, and then I kind of evaluate it, and then I think, if my mind is if my mind feels this is kind of like taking me in a direction that it feels correct. This feels not correct, but this feels like more of the direction I'm going. And because in and of itself, there are no benchmarks for things like this. There is no, okay, you're here now. I'm wondering what that feeling of even inside of myself, if I'm endeavoring for something and the only benchmarks I have, I can't even call them benchmarks, they're inside of myself. what is that? I don't even want to say the word arrival at something finally. There is not that arrival. There is like, there is
the arrival occurs when the things that used to arise no longer arise.
So I will see some sort of external fluctuation.
Well, the things that arise are not external, though. So, for instance, if you notice that X thing makes you angry, and then after a while you expose yourself to that thing, and all of a sudden anger doesn't arise anymore. And the key there is that you did nothing to try to make it not arise. You didn't use a technique. You didn't use nonsense. It naturally didn't arise. That means the cause for its arisal disappeared. Therefore, inside you. Therefore, you arrived somewhere that was genuine, that was true. And the reason that it was true was because you did nothing to make it not come about.
Okay. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yes.
Okay.
Good question. Good question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you believe that there is any sort of creator?
There very likely is. Yes. Now, what that creator is called, I don't know. But there's one thing is for certain. The human being as himself is a monumentally limited individual. Therefore, there is something within him and about him that is infinitely greater than the person himself.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta. I want to ask you how you deal emotionally with the loss of loved ones.
There is no how. It's when a human being experiences loss, there is deep grief. There's no how to deal with anything. When it sets in, and when it goes. But the attempt to try to relieve oneself from it is to perpetuate it.
So what have you learned as you have developed yourself to be with that grief?
I don't try to be with it. That's spiritual again. Doings are so subtle. Prescriptions are so subtle. I never said one should accept it. And I never said one should fight against it. I never said one should be with it. There is no doing. The question that I have is, the people who are here, I'm curious as to why you're here. If you have a response to that question, you can raise your hand. And if you don't have a response to that particular question, please put your hand down.
So the question was, why are you here, correct?
Yes.
Because I see that everything around, there sort of is that knowing that everything around is false.
So I'm asking, why are you in this particular so-called room?
Because reading your work has sort of like some semblance of showing what the truth could be.
I see. Okay.
Hello, Doctor. I'm here because I view you as a mirror that hasn't been shattered, especially like when you're out in public as such in this. And I was here last time and I enjoyed it, and I'm here again and I'm enjoying it.
I came in here because I saw Yuna Ardak, and now I'm staying because I just feel so disillusionated.
I didn't quite understand what you said.
Okay. I came in here because I saw Ayuna Arak, and now I stayed here because it is really disillusionating me.
I see. Okay.
Hi. So to answer your question, why I'm here, one of the things is in my life, I've received a lot of prescriptions to be a certain way. And when you say there are no prescriptions, there is no path, it kind of resonated with me deeply. And I've been following you since, and I use every opportunity to talk to you. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you.
Yeah, the reason why I'm here is that there have been a few things that have really resonated with me and have resulted in me making a lot of progress in understanding the truth, or at least I think.
I see.
I've listened to you for a couple of years, and I just
there hasn't been any particular event, but I just no longer experience certain things I used to experience, and my life has changed in a lot of material ways. And I've just found that just being around it, the words, I don't know what it does, but something happens.
Very good. Thanks.
I won't speak for everyone else, but I'm here because I'm addicted to prescriptions. And I think earlier you mentioned the concept of drug addicts, and I think that's what I'm fulfilling. And hearing you and saying that not to follow prescriptions, I'm still here for prescriptions, and it continues that way. It's a cycle.
Okay.
Hello, doctor. My question has changed significantly as I listen to other people. Initially, I wanted to ask you, how does one not allow their actions to be dictated by loneliness? Mostly in the context of like starting your own business. That led me to my next question, which eventually became, how does one eliminate thought? Now, you might not have want to give me an answer for either, but if not, like, could you suggest a better question for me to ponder on?
The thing to ponder about, and there was a reason why I asked this question to the audience, is why are you here?
In my context, I want to pursue material wealth. There's greater purposes for that, but essentially that's what it comes down to. Is I want to start achieving personal success in the form of material wealth.
Okay.
Hi. I joined because I wanted to alleviate my suffering, and I felt like your words sometimes bring solace, although now I can't help but wonder if I'm just chasing the wrong thing. Otherwise, I enjoy the talk.
Okay.
It is beautiful to see that you're breaking all the spiritual BS. To break all the social BSs and structures, there's a lot of accumulation of beautiful, so-called wonderful spiritual structures, and it's beautiful to see that you're breaking that as well. Very few people break that. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Dr. Gupta. The reason I'm here is because there are internal questions, as like most of us have, that we're trying to seek answers to, and hope that maybe somebody else's question or my own question would probably like open a door or a window somewhere. And if I may, can I ask a question?
Yes.
So, are emotions unnecessary because they cloud the mind and they don't allow you to think rationally?
But it doesn't matter if they're necessary or unnecessary, because your implication is that if I told you they were unnecessary, you wouldn't go and get rid of them. So it doesn't really matter. It's an intellectual question.
I'm here because your responses challenge me. And I think that's how I grow. And I got lucky. I was meditating and I just came on. I woke up a little while ago. I came on and I saw your picture and the title. I did not know you before, so I was lucky to fall into this room.
Okay. Thank you.
I thought to answer the question as well. I think honestly, I'm just usually inspired for the most part reading your books and discourses. And also, I think it's kind of healthy to have somebody that is just willing to say F the status quo. And I think I kind of, like a lot of people, fall into the habit of whatever being society, starting to agree with one thing or another. It's just nice to have, it's very refreshing to hear somebody kind of remind you how things really are.
Okay.
I've just been, I guess you could say, interested in these types of things for a long time. And I guess it's just more window shopping what I'm doing right now. But how do you communicate in language without ideas? Maybe what you say will be planted somehow in me that will grow later. I'm not saying it's happening now. I'm saying, maybe someday.
Perhaps not.
I'm here because listening to you makes me feel calm. That's all.
Okay.
I think I'm here because your words resonate with me, and I feel a more exposure to the truth. And also, I know you say you don't believe in religion, but I feel like your words sort of echo the essence of Eastern spirituality, specifically Sanatan Dharma and Sikh even.
Okay. Hi, Doctor. I'm here because I find your words have a certain commitment towards truth. And also, I'd like to understand, do you consider yourself a sincere man? If yes, what value has it added in your life? Has it made you more free? To discuss whether I'm sincere or not, that just doesn't interest me. But thanks.
I am simply here because your words seem to have a sense of purity, and they give me some sort of clarity more than makes me feel clearer, makes my perception feel clearer.
Okay.
I am here because you speak on genuineness, sincerity, and that resonates, especially the rejection of how-tos. And the only person that resonates on that level is Bruce Lee to me. And if I may I ask a question regarding him?
I can't answer questions about Bruce Lee. I don't know. I've never known Bruce Lee.
So I'm here originally. I didn't really know you until I think I stumbled upon a room with you and Naval, or his brother, who I respect a lot, and they spoke of you well. And I think I've been in maybe 2 or 3 rooms, and the only way to explain why I'm still here, or why I keep joining, is I don't know. I get lost in a good way, that I undefine my previous thoughts, I guess. So that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Hi. Yeah, I'm actually here because, I actually read Atmaman a year and a half back, and I read your other 2 books as well after that. And your words have this alchemy to them that's, that's hard to explain. And so I'm here just to sort of hear more truths. I kind of wasted my first question on, I think, something a bit general. Like, what I'm actually here to ask was, I'm actually considering moving, countries from India to the UK. Part of the reasons are, independence, better quality air, good infrastructure. And what I really wanted to ask you was that, you spoke about how a person, if he's on the path to truth with respect to his personal life, then he won't feel anxiety. But, this move of moving countries is producing some amount of anxiety within me. So, how do I differentiate, as to whether it's a pleasure chase or whether it's coming from a place of truth? It's something that I wanted to do for a few years now. So I was wondering if you have any insight on that.
Well, the reason that you're feeling anxiety is because after the anxiety arose, you're trying to not feel the anxiety.
Honestly, I'm just inspired by your uncompromise, and I just really want what you have.
Okay.
Hello. So initially, I was here because the idea of real-time analysis of bunch of questions was very interesting. But I continued to stay and attend all of these sessions because looking at the questions, just observing the questions, I realized how repetitive it gets, including mine. And at this point, I'm not even interested in answers, but learning to reframe questions and asking better questions, I guess. Or yeah, that's that's the activity that I do when people ask questions here, and I share the same questions. But at this moment, I'm super purely, enthusiastic about reframing question. Asking, that's the best way I can verbalize. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, the things that you have noticed about the questions and the desire to refine your questions, that's a very, very insightful observation.
the room randomly by suggestion. I'm just a man who is interested into how the mind works, and then looking at your profile and everything, it interests me and all the questions and answers as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are very few people who know truth, and around me at least, and there are even fewer who speak it. And I like being here. Okay.
Hi, I came to ask a question. I stayed because of your reply. And the reason for that was because it helps me understand how not to waste my time.
Okay.
Hi, I've been following your work in Twitter disclosures. I read some of your books also. So I like the clarity and uncompromising responses. And like some other person told here, I like to frame the question. So I've been framing the questions as you are providing many responses here. I've been framing the questions in my mind, like what to ask you. But to be honest, I mean, after reading your books, I think most of the answers are present in your book. I think it is about self-realization, like what is the true question that I need to ask and how I pursue it. Whatever that I really need to devote my life to.
Okay.
So I'm here because I'm on a path right now that requires some seriousness from me, and from everything I followed you for the last couple of years, it seemed like it would be a good idea to join this chat. So maybe I could glean something that would help me on this path I'm on.
Okay.
Hi, Doctor. So I am here because I used to feel all the hollowness of the futility of life just by looking up at the stars and realizing how really insignificant we are, and that used to make me feel hollow. Now, through your responses, I feel that accepting that is okay, and that gives me a lot of ease. Okay. And I'm here. Okay.
Hey, so I'd say over the past 4 or 5 years, I've been slowly going more and more insane. And a few months ago, I think I realized that the reason was that I expected people to be able to do things to a certain degree within their cognitive faculties, and they weren't able to. And this discrepancy was what drove me mad, and it was only finally realizing the lack of desire toward the particular objects, that their desires were elsewhere, and that was what limited their understanding. And now I see you on Clubhouse, and I sort of binge some of your tweets and a few of the essays, and it seems you're saying exactly the same thing. So it seems this is certainly the place for me to be and to think more about these things.
Okay.
When you asked the question, the answer came immediately without thinking. And I think I'm going to stay with it, although there's been a temptation to edit it. The answer that came when you asked that question immediately was that I'm here because I'm here.
I am here because I've read a lot of Krishnamurti and Alan Watts, and I feel like, you remind me of them with the amazing time that this is, that I'm, able to speak to you in real time. So that's fantastic. And the second reason why I'm here is that I do see myself getting caught in these prescription traps and the collective, set of lies that society is. And when I come here and when I hear you, it reinforces and solidifies my understanding of these prescriptions, and then it helps me identify them much faster and allows me to think clearly.
Okay.
I am here purely, my mind was saying it's because of listening to you directly brings me joy. But having read your 3 books and this question being asked, I guess I'm chasing the prescription. So that's the realization I have while answering this question.
Okay.
Just for the last year, I've noticed the frequency of like a lot of things I'm doing being futile. It's just getting faster and faster. And so I've been on a binge of different schools of study or different schools of thought around it. And I just feel like as I process and reject or process and adopt parts of different things, different teachers or different people with additional information that I haven't thought of from this angle or that angle. In one way or another, it keeps popping up. Even on Clubhouse today, there was no actual title for this room except for question and possible response, but there's something that pulled me into the room. And then things just seem to be showing up. So that's why.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm here because I'm curious about who you are. And I stumbled upon this app, and you have some pretty intelligent responses. And I can see who you appear to be. I can see this platform. I've briefly glanced over the content, and there's just curiosity on who you are. I don't want an answer. I'm not looking for an answer, but I'm just listening because of that curiosity only.
Okay.
Hi, Kapil. I have felt helpless and inadequate at multiple times in my life whenever life has hit me. I think being in your presence and then hearing your words amplifies that helplessness and inadequacy of not knowing, and it's very hard to articulate the kind of fundamental things that I go through whenever the situation have arisen in my childhood or teenage. I think I'm able to go back to feeling that again in a much more amplified way. So that draws me to this room and to your words again and again.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. So I am here because I listened to your interview with Naval recently, and that's how I found out about you. And after going through things and going through all like your discourses and listening to you, what I found was a section or a discourse where you said you don't have what you truly desire because you don't really want it. And I think you also said you have what you have now because you couldn't live without it. And I've had this frustration with my nature. But after hearing that, I recognized it as a truth for sure. And I've, in personal and professional life, been chasing prescriptions. However, I do have a question, although I think I'm learning the answer to it. The question would be, your nature or the big five, like your agreeableness or your openness or your conscientiousness. If you truly desire something, can you override what theoretically someone may call your ability to intellectually grasp something or to vehemently go after something? Can you override that? And I think the answer is yes, but I wanted to ask still.
Yes.
Hi, Dr. Gupta.
Hello?
Thank you so much for doing this. And the reason why I kept on joining is because something inside of me really resonated with stuff that you were saying and also your tweets and your writing. But most importantly, I think you mentioned earlier that there's nothing to be learned from other people. But I do believe that I'm learning something from you and how you answer questions and how you are, and the clarity of your answers and your writing. So I am inspired by that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, Dr. Gupta.
Hello.
So I've been reading and listening to you for the past 3 years, and the only thing that really comes to mind is that the things that you write and the things that you say silences the mind and keeps one invested in truth. So that's why I generally go look up to you.
Okay.
No, in a lot of your books, you always talk about the rare DNA or the rare person.
And, for the first time I read it, I didn't think that was true. I guess I was conditioned to believe that, everybody's special and so on and so forth. But I come to this room exactly for that, to see if I get a glimpse maybe of this rare, but I don't. All the questions can be answered with your book alone, per se. I really haven't heard anything that I don't want to call it unique, but you know what I mean, rare, per se. So I keep waiting, I guess.
Okay.
Hello. Sorry, I've been going on and off as a
Hello?
speaker, but hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, the reason I'm here is because in my independent reasoning of all the things that happen around me, I am able to deduce to a certain point, and nobody's going to believe me, but the strongest desire wins is something that I felt as well, and it was one of my tweets, and then I saw your work, and I've been following your work for a really long time, and I just feel like if I'm able to deduce it to the level of, say, atoms, you go 10x further and reduce it to quarks, or like whatever is smaller than that, and that's why.
Okay. Thank you.
So my question is, recommending people to not have a prescription, is that a prescription itself?
Yeah, I don't recommend that anyone not have a prescription.
Gotcha.
If one wishes to look into the futility of prescriptions through their own experiences, then they may, and that really is the only way to see it, rather than just believing what I say.
Thank you very much.
Two reasons why I'm here. The first I would say is your variant perception. I think probably holds for many of the audience and myself. You make people think. And the second one, I wanted to see how many times I could hear people say resonate before 8 a.m. London time.
Okay.
Thank you.
I live in a city, in a school environment, in medical school, and there's nowhere that you can have a true conversation. It's as you've said in your discourses, it's anything is based on instruction or prescription or trying to feel good, and all of those things you discuss. And so it's if something like this comes up on Clubhouse, it's a no-brainer to just jump in, because there's just nowhere else like it in my environment. And outside of that, it is some sort of personal inspiration or some communion with you as a person. And that's another reason why I would say I follow your work.
Okay.
Yeah, I stumbled across this room on one day randomly, and the first thing that I heard you say was, seeing God doesn't do any good. I mean, this was one thing I had fascination since I was a child. But then at some point I had this realization that seeing God or pursuing that will not do me any good. It is not going to bring me any peace. And then when I heard that, finally I found someone who actually is saying that. That's when I started following you and reading some of your books now. And then I'm in this room, I can't go away because all the questions people ask, somewhere they resonate with me, not just the answers. I think so. Listening is what gives me a lot of clarity.
Okay.
I met U.G. Krishnamurti long back when he was alive, and he used to have a very similar, not similar, his words were like a heartfelt, touching. Same way I stumbled upon you when Nawal mentioned in Tim Ferriss' interview about you. Then I searched on you on the Twitter and I found, and you were Twitter I followed long time, I think last 2 years, and I read your book and I listened to your podcasts. And somewhere I don't get your things, but on the way of my alone, when I am alone, I just connect your dots, whatever you are saying. It's still hard to understand some cryptic ones, but I think I'm in the path of getting whatever you like, understanding in the path what you say. So I think that's that's where I'm interested. And I have two requests to you. You removed your solo podcasts, which were very insightful. Is there any way you can again put it on that's the one request. And another one I have is you say about Musashi and other two in your blog, another two persons who are explorers. Is there any way sometime you make the one session on the how from the beginning, from a sincerity to the arrival, how those persons affected you, like Musashi and
yeah, what I'll say about that, I don't like to speak about myself, so I keep questions to the individuals themselves in order to directly benefit. If it benefits them, it benefits them, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But I like to focus on the individual. I don't like to talk about myself. But thank you.
Hello. Yeah. I've been I meditated for many years, and at some point, I came to a realization that it was just meaningless, and I was just playing with the states and thoughts and all that, and then I stopped doing that. But then I thought there is something else, and then kept looking, but I felt that everyone is just giving you all these shared fictions and lies and all that. So I kind of got pissed off, and then last time I saw you here, I saw your name Siddha, and then I thought, oh, here is another scammer again, and then I just came to troll you. But then I started listening to you, and I felt that, oh, this, he's actually not scamming. So and then I saw you again this time, and I felt like, okay, let's listen to him again, and then I stayed. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, Siddha, thanks for having me on the panel again. So I believe about a month ago, I saw you on Clubhouse, and you were in someone's room, and they were I believe you and Naval were actually talking. And then I clicked on your profile. I saw you were following 0 people, and I thought that was kind of funny. And then I checked out your Twitter, and then you were following 0 people as well. So I decided to read into your content a bit, and I really like your simplistic approach to life, and it kept me around.
Okay, thanks.
Hello, Kapil. I'm here because through your work I found my insincerity, my lack of desire in many things. So I think that's been really it's something I wasn't expecting to find, but I found it, and it was great. I'm also here because sometimes people ask questions that I didn't know I have, or sometimes you give answers that I just that let me see something else, something new, and then I can explore in my life. So I think that's awesome. And also wanted to mention that as Ravi said, your podcast on Apple Podcast is not available anymore. So if you can do something about it, that'll be highly appreciated.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, I believe I just have another question. I did answer the reason why I'm here. My question is more with regards to knowledge. So far, I feel the knowledge that I've gained, it has been through, you could say, reading, maybe joining podcasts like this. But as you've mentioning that most of it's all prescription based, and with regards to everything that I've read, then my question is, where is the drive to get true knowledge that's not prescription driven? Or
that's within the individual. If the individual still has an appetite for prescriptions, then that's what he's going to seek.
Hi, Siddha. So this is my first time ever getting to know you or being in a room with you. So I am in the room, or I've stayed this long in the room because I experienced brain surgery and a near-death experience in my 20s. And I really just enjoy deep thinkers, and I enjoy listening to others' perspectives, because I think for me, what it allows is for me to just get to know myself better as far as just making up my own conclusions on just kind of a bouncing board.
Okay.
Doctor, I'm here because I think my mind was like really foggy, and I was searching for a lot of answers. And my questions. I had a question earlier, and then my questions kept changing. But like the more I stayed, like I think just your presence is giving me clarity, and it's giving me a feeling that it's pushing me in the right direction, like not logically, but just like I just sense it somewhere. So I'm just grateful to be here, and your presence is giving me that feeling, and that's why I'm here. And I hadn't heard of you before, so thank you so much. Yeah.
Sure, thank you.
Namaste, Dr. Kapil. My answer resonate with previous answers. But now, after listening to you, I realize that you might be an enlightened being, or at least an important soul at an important platform right now. And your work may help me in my journey. In fact, I got few answers to my puzzle today, and thank you for that.
Sure, thank you. Hello?
Yeah, hi. My question is, what is the difference between being driven by something and having a desire of something?
No, it's just semantics.
Hi, Kapil. Thank you for listening. My question is, I find that as I make my own personal journey towards what I deem as progress for myself, the glimpses of the truth help me feel like there is some forward movement.